Hey, I came back from watching Shazam. Anyway, I was going to review this with Ian, but then he gave me a text saying that his wife wanted to watch it with him next week, and that's a bit too late for a really good on-time review. And so I went to watch it with Dale. So I was going to review this with Dale, but then his wife basically was tired and just wanted to get back home. So here I am doing this by myself. That's alright. That's fine. And I can cover that myself. I've got plenty of thoughts. Real short thing at first. I really liked this. I really liked it. It was a really good movie in many ways. It was a good superhero movie. Definitely a callback to a lot of the old 80s films, superhero or not. It's a family film. It's a Christmas movie. It's a lot of good things. I'm going to try to talk about a few things before going into spoilers. And I'll warn you before I go into spoilers, because, yeah, and you'd be able to cut out at that point. Anyway, the acting is was more surprising. It was surprisingly good. Especially the child actors. It's not easy to find good child actors. And when you had roles of children and adults, being the same character, but throughout time, and in the case of Shazam himself, being the same exact character, same exact time, just different bodies, they felt like the same person, which is immensely hard to do. In every instance, they felt like they were the same person. They gave plenty of references not only to the DC expanded cinematic universe, but also two classic villains from the Shazam or Captain Marvel premise, Rogues Gallery. Okay, I gotta say this right off the bat. I didn't hate Marvel's Captain Marvel. I didn't particularly like it. It was okay. I actually had a great time with this one. And if you go back into the history, you know that Shazam was the first Captain Marvel, before legal matters made them have to change the name. But I don't want to say that the first is showing everybody why the first was the best, but because matter of opinion, some people may have liked things differently. But I personally enjoyed this one better. But it was right up my alley. It was my kind of superhero movie. Heroes are saving people. This growth from the character. Because he doesn't start off as a hero. He starts off as a kid who suddenly has superpowers and doing selfish kid things in this wild fantasy. It really does feel like the Tom Hanks movie Big, if Big was a superhero film. But there's also there's also parts of like The Goonies and other 80s movies, because this was kind of an 80s feeling movie. Completely modern, but it felt like one of those films. And that was just fun. That was just about time we had happy fun in our superhero movies again. instead of everything being all grim, dark, and serious all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, there was plenty of dark movie moments in this movie. There's plenty of serious topics and issues in this movie. But, yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. Superheroes should be fun. You know, not everything... I'm sure... I mean, I've ranted about this, stuff like this, in the fixing genres discussion that no one watched. But, yeah. They gave, like, they referenced 3 villains in this movie. Featured one of them. Referenced 3 of them. And showed on camera 2 of them. But, that's spoiler territory. I need to hush up there. It's a very touching... We've got some very touching moments. Characters feel so real. Especially Billy Batson, the main character, Shazam. Including his journey to try to find his birth mother. That whole motivation, that whole quest in the movie, that feels so real, so good. And the writing is just on par. I mean, better than par. Yeah. Screw it. I don't think I have anything else to say without going into spoilers, because I really want to just talk about the stuff that it wouldn't necessarily ruin your experience. I need to go on without worry about spoilers from this point on. So, spoiler warning. If all you wanted was whether or not I liked it, then you can go ahead and leave now. Because now we're going into spoilers. You've been warned. Dr. Sivana, the main villain that they feature. Such motivation. Even though he is a dark parallel to the character, which is often a problem in the Marvel movies, he isn't exactly a mirror image. He's close. But they do make it clear with the motivations and the why of everything. He is a dark reflection, but done right. Definitely not done in a lazy way. But yeah, I really liked him. He was played brilliantly. And it showed like an inherent danger with the whole chosen one dynamic. The wizard Shazam had waited forever to try to find someone who was absolutely worthy, purely good, to give his powers to. And that is what kept, it's what made Dr. Sivana, really. Because the wizard Shazam gave the trial to a young Thaddeus Sivana and deemed him not worthy to get the power. And being told you're not good enough, even by someone that powerful, or especially by someone that powerful, it's bound to mess you up like crazy. It's kind of like if Harry Potter was introduced to the world of wizardry, and they were like, you know what? No, I'm not going to teach you any of this. They're like, you're not good enough, Harry Potter. sit back down in your squalid environment where you're abused and everything. Because you suck. That's what happened. That's what happened with Thaddeus Sivana, and that's why he embraces the 7 deadly sins and why he goes all dark and evil. And when he finally meets Billy as Shazam, being the actual one that the wizard chooses because he has no other choice now, is his now or never, he has to pass it on to somebody. But when he finally meets Billy, he was like, what makes you so worthy? Why were you so great? You're nothing. I was better than you. And it just fuels that jealousy, that envy, which plays a lot into things, because he's fueled by the 7 deadly sins, Sivana is. And envy's the big one. Which is... nice touch when they show the 7 deadly sins. It was a really nice touch. I told Dale that Greed had like 4 arms to grab more stuff with, because he's Greed. It's like, I like that. That was nice. The Marvel family. I should have saw that coming, but I didn't. They rushed into that real quick. The basis around the family and the foster family and the messages of family that are in this movie. I should have seen it coming that they were going to do this. And not just at the end bump. But yeah, he shares the power. And so his 5 other brothers and sisters became more Shazams. The Marvel family, or the whole damn Shazam fam, I guess. But anyway, the villains, like, they featured Dr. Sivana. They showed the telepathic alien worm Mr. Mind a few times. And Mr. Mind even has a speaking role in the mid-credit scene. And they alluded to, they gave the backstory for Black Adam, which is the actual pure dark parallel to Shazam. But yeah, it's not easy to cover so many origin stories and it not feel rushed or messed up. That was actually something I really liked about Green Lantern. They covered that, a lot of stuff, but I know I'm pretty much one of the only people on the planet that loved the Green Lantern movie. I know I'm in the minority there. But speaking of the minority, the Marvel family. They were definitely culturally diverse, and that was a good thing. But also, back to the whole child actor stuff. The children forms and their adult Shazam forms acted identical, like they're the same person, and they did a really good job with that. So yeah, I loved it. There's a lot of light dark parallels. There's a lot of, I don't know. I'm usually better than this. I usually have someone to bounce off of. But that's okay. Music was fun. There was at least one reference too big that first actual fight with Dr. Sylvana. They wind up in a toy store, and during this pursuit, they run along a keyboard. It's very short, but that's definitely a big reference to the movie Big there. That was fun. Yeah, they even have a cameo of Superman at one point. Real at the end of the movie, but they had Superman. Okay. Why not? Shazam was one of the first superheroes ever. So I think Superman and Batman were the first. And not long after, the first Captain Marvel came out. But anyway, it was a welcome change. It's fun. I won't say course correction. Everyone says it's a course correction for DC. The course correction was Wonder Woman. They've just been staying on the course, with the exception of a few rocky bumps with Suicide Squad and Justice League. I don't think either one of those were bad, but they weren't great. Yeah. It's like Wonder Woman was great. Suicide Squad, Justice League, they were meh. Then Aquaman was phenomenal. And Shazam, great. Fantastic. So I recommend it. Think you'll have a lot of fun. Hopefully you'd have a lot of fun. If not, I'm sorry that you don't like fun. But maybe it wasn't for you. Maybe you prefer the gritty, dark, everything serious hero movies. And that's on you. But I had a blast. And so I think that's about it. I think I'm thinking next week I'm going to be looking at the new film from Leica Studios, Missing Link. Yeah. I'll be doing that alone. Maybe with Mom, if she's up to it. But anyway, yeah. Until then, I guess go watch Shazam. And see you next time.